Okay, Ms. Martinez,
Yes, ma'am.
you brought this case before the court. What's going on?
Well, I'm here to put Daddy on child support.
That's his name, Daddy?
Well, that's what I call him.
Okay. Right. Oh, right. So how many children do you and... I'm sorry, I'm not going to refer to you as Daddy. Sir, what is your name?
My name is Dave.
Dave. Mr. Dave. You're putting Mr. Dave on child support.
Correct.
Okay. How many children do the two of you have?
We have one.
Okay. And what's the backstory? Like, was he not paying? I mean, what was going on?
Okay, so we met a while ago in my hometown. He actually works in a position where it allows him to travel a lot. He just so happened to be in my hometown, and we kind of met at a bar. We kind of had a few night stands, something like that. And we kind of got an arrangement to where he would basically provide me with about $1,000 a week. You know, with a week, yes, a week. So with my allowance, it allowed me to begin to do my position as a stylist. And when I told him I got pregnant, he cut me off. And now he doesn't want to take care of our child. We already got a DNA test, and he knows it's his child. So I don't know what the problem is. So I'm here to put him on child support.
Okay, so you lost me at the $1,000 a week part. Was that for you only?
For me, you know, he was kind of looking for something that allowed him to have pleasure and, you know, have fun while he's in my hometown. And I was okay with that, you know, because that's kind of what I wanted. I didn't want anything serious, like as far as, you know, commitment and marriage and all that good stuff. So we decided to just have fun. And now he wants to cut me off because we have a child together and he doesn't want to take care of him.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to address the $1,000 a week part because that has nothing to do with why we're here. I just want to know about the child support part. Is there a reason you haven't been giving her financial support for the child?
I never agreed to child support.
Okay.
I agreed to the fun part, and fun time's over.
So now that the fun time's over, the adult time begins, which is caring for the child.
I never agreed to have a child with her.
Okay, you probably didn't, but you guys were having fun and had a kid, right?
He wasn't complaining when he was up in there.
Okay, so you guys had a child.
Well, there was no reason to complain, but yes, ma'am.
If we want to get into that, let's not start.
Yeah, please don't, because I don't think I have time for that today. I would have to, set aside some special time to hear all of this story. So we're just going to focus on the important part, okay? Now the child, whether you agreed or signed up for child support, you have a child. You need to take care of that child financially.
Your Honor, I would like to say something. I don't want to make this personal aspersion on her character. How do I know that's my child?
Well, you already had a DNA test. It's been confirmed that you're the father. You forgot about that?
Evidently, it slipped my mind. Yes.
Oh, okay. You're probably having too much fun. But again, you have a child now, and you're going to pay child support. So let's get some information from you. How much do you make a year?
I make a good year up around 108.
108,000. Okay. And health insurance. Who carries the child on health insurance?
I
He
carry.
does.
Okay. And how many children do you have besides this one?
I have 2 children.
2 children. Okay. So we can give you credit. Well, how old are your children?
They're not in the house. They're adults.
Okay. That wasn't my question. How old are your children?
How old?
Yes.
One's 30, one's 35.
30. Okay. So definitely none under the age of 18.
Yes, Your
Okay.
Honor.
All right. So let's do some math here. Looks like your gross comes out close to $9,000 a month. Your net is about $6,436.81. That gives you, giving you credit for health insurance. And you said how much was it?
Health insurance about, I think it's around 200.
Okay. So I'll give you credit for the health insurance that you carry on the child. That would bring your child support obligation to $1,287 per month. And that's all he has to pay.
I'm okay with that. I mean, it's like a cut to me, but it's fine. I mean, I got my business. I can take care of my child, but I just didn't think it was fair for him not to have an obligation to our child.
I definitely agree with that. He definitely has an obligation to the child in terms of what you all may have going on in fun times. That has nothing to do with me, and I can't do anything about that.
Your Honor, may I say something?
Yes, make it quick.
I have another life besides this life. I have 2 wonderful kids, a wife, and
Wait a minute.
I need to focus on that life.
Wait a
I don't
minute.
need to focus on this life.
Did you just say you were married?
Yes, Your Honor.
Does your wife know about this 1-year-old?
If this is televised, that might be a factor later on, but at this point, no.
Your Honor, if I may,
Yes.
you were literally at my house yesterday.
Okay, well, you know what? You guys are not going to fight in front of me. So
Sorry.
what we're going to do is, do you have any more questions?
No, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions pertaining to your child support? Not anything else? No fun time, nothing like that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, if there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
Seated. Okay, Mr. Foster, you brought this case before the court. What's going on?
Well, what's happening is this. She's out and she's partying, she's having fun, she's doing all this stuff like all on social media. She's a social media influencer. I met her because I'm one of her super fans.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is
And
cute.
How it happened was that since I'm a super fan, I'm kind of following her around, see what she's doing. But she actually called for me to cater to one of her areas, which is how we actually hooked up from there, because I'm a chef.
Okay.
We have one child together, and she's not really doing the things that she's supposed to do as a mother, pretty much supporting the child, being there for him, paying any Medicaid or so dealing with for the child. I practically do all that. And I brought her here today just to let's say, hey, you gotta step up your game, you gotta do something, help out this child, because I can't be the only supporter if you're here supposed to do something as well. I mean, I can do it, but I do need a little bit more income for that.
Okay. I'm a little bit more interested in the background. How you became a super fan and you hooked up.
Well, I'm a follower.
I mean, I don't need all the details about, how the child was conceived. I'm just interested to see how that works,
Well, I'm the type of guy that I always post all my stuff, letting people know this is what I do, like all my catering stuff and all that. But when it comes to her, I know that she does all this stuff, and I know she's a big influencer, and she pretty much puts everything out there. She's really, when it comes to making it to a live stream, she can do that. She has that. But so that's what I did. I actually reached out to her in that way, and that's how I got more of my influence out there, so I can actually start catering and partying catering to all these parties.
Okay. All right. And so you want her to pay child support?
Yes.
All right. And you said the child is on Medicaid,
Yes.
correct? Okay. All right. Is there anything else you want me to know before I move over to her?
No.
Okay. Ma'am? Yes. Welcome. I'm honored. Social media influencer?
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is, but what does that have to do with you being a mom?
I'm out there trying to make money and trying to support my child. I do send him money. I'm just trying to grow my business.
How much money do you send him?
It just depends on what's going on during the week, what I have and what my income is each month.
On average, how much money are you getting from her, if any?
She only sends about maybe like $200-300.
$200 or $300? You're a social media influencer?
Well, I'm still growing my business. I mean, I'm
Right.
But she
that.
parties. It's all over. It's online. It's like she's everywhere.
And you're getting paid for these appearances,
and you
right?
party too. That's how we met.
Nah, I was catering to your.
You were
to one of your
catering,
parties. Yes.
Oh.
So I wasn't really partying. I was catering. I had to work it.
Right. That's what they're calling catering these days. Being a super fan. I get it.
It was one time.
One time and you all had the baby?
Yeah, don't take that long.
Well, that's true. So
he is making a good income as well.
right, but the child is with him. So
Yes.
his income is not really
Because
concerning for me.
I travel.
Right, and you're being paid for your travel. Exactly. How much are you making, roughly?
Maybe about 100,000.
You're making about $100,000 and you send him $200 or so for the baby?
Yes.
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm not about to do this with you. You're making a lot of money and your child is coming up short, and you don't have a problem with that?
No, I do have a problem with that. I would like him with me.
So you want the baby to be on social media for likes and follows?
Oh, it might
What
be
about-
something that
Like, what about school and all those other
he can
academic
do
things that he has to
homeschool
do?
when he's 3.
So
where-
he's
where
going
is
to
he
be on
homeschooling? In
virtual
hotels and stuff
school
like
with
that?
likes and followers?
You see it all the time. Why not? I mean,
Right, but don't you believe that that's a distraction?
no, I mean, I feel like, I'm making a pretty good income, and I think that this could really help him when he's older and to
I
save
f-
up some money.
Well, if you're making a pretty good income, you can send more.
I agree with that.
Maybe you could work harder.
No, ma'am. Maybe you can work harder to be in your child's life. And I highly doubt a judge would place the child with you knowing that you travel, you're doing all of these things for growing your business, and the child is with him. Sounds like 100% of the time.
No, not all the time.
Okay, how often do you have the child?
When he allows the child to be with me when I'm not traveling.
Oh, okay. So when you're not traveling, that's how often?
Really, a couple of days, a month.
Exactly. You made that up. This is what we're going to do. We're going to place you on child support based on that $100,000 a year, ma'am. Yeah, and don't look confused. It's the right thing to do. It is absurd that you believe it is okay to only send a couple of $100s to dad for your child, and you actually think that it's okay for your child to be toting along with you to grow your social media influence? Yeah, no, that's not what we're going to do. This child needs to be in an environment that is stable. Need to make sure that school is being attended to. How old is this child?
About 3.
3 years old. No. Kindergarten will be here before you know it. He does not need to be traveling and going to homeschool and virtual school all over the country or wherever it is that you have to appear. You'd agree with me, right?
I guess I have to.
No, you don't have to, but don't you believe that's in the best interest of the child to be somewhere stable?
Well, I think the best interest of the child would be with me, and if I'm growing a business and I can take care of them.
And you believe that because you're the mom?
Yes.
Oh, well, that's not going to happen today. So what we're going to do is base your child support off that $100,000 that you testified to, that makes your gross $8,333.33, bringing your net to $6,212.37. That makes your monthly child support obligation $1,242. Now, you mentioned Medicaid.
Yes.
Medicaid is not free. He doesn't have to pay for it, but you do. So it's based on 9% of your gross, which your gross is that $8,300 that I said earlier, that brings your reimbursement to Medicaid $750. If you can find somewhere on, private health insurance, I'm pretty sure you can find it a lot cheaper. Maybe one of your followers is a health insurance agent or something, and they can get you something cheaper, okay? So based on that, $1,242 plus $750 brings your monthly child support obligation to $1,992. You're going to pay that monthly to dad. Any questions?
No, I don't have any.
Why did you look at him?
Because I was just thinking he's making more money, he's doing more gigs.
That's great, and so are you. And if you make any more money doing more gigs, we can just increase your child support. Anything further?
Nope.
Is there anything further, sir?
No.
Okay, nothing further. You all are dismissed. Okay, Mrs. Armstrong.
Yes, Ms. Judge.
Okay, you brought this case before the court. What's going on?
Well, Miss Tally over here, we decided to have a baby together about 3 years ago. And we got a divorce. And now I just need her to pay some child support.
Okay.
Well, you guys are going through a divorce, right?
Well, yeah, sorry, we're going through a divorce. I wish it was over already. But I have been paying health care for a long time, ever since the baby was born.
How much is the health care?
It's $111 a month.
Okay.
This baby is 2 years old. We've been together for about 3 years, and I just, that's a lot of money,
Okay, and you want her to pay child support.
and I need that money.
Okay, she needs that money. You don't want to pay that money?
No, ma'am. Instead, I want to spend time with this child. She's not allowing me to see my son, Alex, for the last year and a half.
Okay.
I mean, I have an amazing 2-year-old son that I'm being denied access to see. And I do not believe that I should be paying child support. Rather than I should be able to spend time with my son and actively be in his life.
Okay. Is there a reason you have not been allowing her to see Alex?
Yes, ma'am.
Is there a reason for that?
Well, Judge, I feel like time is not money. And,
Well, stop. Hold on. It's not money. But you would agree with me that she is the mother, right?
Yes.
Okay. And would you want for her to deny you access to Alex?
Well, it would be
It's
different.
a yes or no?
No.
Okay, then. So, you do not have a reason to not allow her to see her son.
But she doesn't help me take care of my son.
Now, financially, we'll get to that in a moment. She's not going to have a choice if the child is living with you primarily. Is that what's
Correct.
going on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how often do you allow her to see him at all?
No.
Okay. Now that's going to change today. You do not have any authority to do that. You do not have it both ways. You can't say I want her to pay this money, but at the same time I don't want her to see our son. It doesn't work like that.
Well, once she starts paying me some money, then she can also start seeing the son.
Well, they don't go together.
Okay.
The possession to a child has nothing to do with paying child support. You do not decide that. You understand? Yes, ma'am. Okay, because in a different court, you could actually be held in contempt for that if you all had a court order and you were denying her access to your son. You understand that, right?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Now, as for you, you'll be able to see your son, but you do understand that you have to pay child support as well.
Absolutely, yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you do not have any objection to paying
No,
child
ma'am.
support. Okay, so you heard that, right? Okay, all right. So it seems like money is what's important to you, not necessarily her having a relationship with the child. That's right, right?
Yes.
And that's sad. And it's very sad that you admitted it. Okay, so you turned in some tax returns up here. I have your gross at $6,000 a year. And how many children? It's just Alex,
It's
right?
just one. Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any other children outside of Alex?
No, ma'am.
Okay. All right. So that brings your net down to $4,789.79 for one child. And then you do have to reimburse her health insurance because she's
Absolutely.
been paying it. You're okay with that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, you don't really have a choice, so okay. Plus the 111 comes out to $1,069 a month.
Okay. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
All right. Do you have any questions about that?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any questions about
No,
that?
ma'am, it's Judge.
Okay. Why do you have this smirk on your face?
Oh, I like those numbers. Judge Rhonda. Judge Rhonda.
Sad. She's not going to have to come back in here and say, you know, she's not letting me see my child or anything like that, is she?
So when she sees the child, do I have to be
no.
around?
That's a no, because you're not going to do that, right? You're going to let her see the child.
Do I
Yes.
have to be around her when she comes? She has to come pick the child up, like for a weekend.
Yeah, however she picks him up. Okay. I mean, you guys have a child, so you should be able to be cordial with each other to some extent. You don't have to necessarily like each other, but
It has
you
to
do
be
need
able
to
to
let her
benefit the
see.
child.
Huh?
It has to be able to benefit the child. I mean, you have to look at Alex's best interest in his life. He needs both of his moms as life. You can't just deny one.
What's the
I agree
least
with that.
of amount of time that I can let her spend with my child?
You know what? We're not going to go there. You're going to let her see him, and that's the end of it. You have your money, right?
Yes.
Okay, then. So do you have any other questions? All right. If there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
Okay, Miss Canada. All right. You brought this case before the court. What's going on?
I'm seeking child support and back pay from this man.
Okay, just straightforward. That's what I like. Just get right into it. How old is the child?
The child is now 3 years old,
3 years old.
and I have not received any child support.
In 3 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Sir, is there a reason you haven't given her any child support in the past 3 years?
Yes, ma'am, there is.
What is that?
We've been discussing the paternity obligations.
Okay.
Under the circumstances, you know, I don't think I was the only person having a fling with Rocky at the time that you know, she and I had that time together. And,
Excuse me? Are you implying something?
Well, what I'm trying to say is that I understand that you may have been seeing some other people in addition to me. And the reason that I haven't
Well,
provided
those are rumors.
I understand
First of
that.
all.
I understand that.
Second
But
of
you
all.
haven't complied with my request for DNA test either, and that's my key. Is that if I have an obligation, I like to make sure it is my obligation and not the obligation of some other father.
Well, maybe you should have been obligated to your wife whenever you were having an affair with me.
You know, you're right about that. And honest
So
truth is
you are
that
admitting that you're married?
yes.
Okay.
And I've told her. I've told her that we had this fling.
You didn't
told
tell
your
me you
wife
were
that?
married until after.
That's correct. That's correct. I did not tell you.
I'm sorry, I won't disrupt you guys anymore. Go ahead.
So, you know, from my perspective, Your Honor, I certainly understand the situation. I'm not trying to be hard-hearted, so to speak, about this, but I think that there's some other questions that need to be answered before we agree on paying any kind of support, because at this point, we haven't confirmed whose child this is.
Okay. Well, I definitely have some questions too, but I don't think they have anything to do with child support. It's more about you guys' backstory, but that has nothing to do with me. However, has this man taken a DNA test at all?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Did he sign anything at the hospital
No, he wasn't
acknowledging that he was the father? Okay. So he does have a valid point. Before we can actually place him on child support, he either has to accept parentage, which, according to what I'm hearing, you're really not accepting it.
there. He's in denial about his affair and doesn't want his wife to find out.
My wife knows.
Oh,
Yeah,
she
right.
knows now.
Ah, he's lying.
You told her?
I would have heard from her by now. I work with him, ma'am.
Oh. At the welding place?
I'm a receptionist there.
Receptionist there, I'm a manager.
That's how we met.
You're her direct manager. Oh, okay. Ooh, wasn't expecting that much tea this morning. So, yeah, he's entitled to a DNA test.
Sure.
Okay, so before we can move forward with anything in terms of child support, looking at your financial documents you provided, he first needs to get a DNA test. So what I can do is you guys go and get the DNA test, then you can come back at a later date, possibly, if he's the father. If he's not the father, you are more than welcome to bring back as many people as necessary. I'm not implying by any means that what he's saying is true.
Right, he's
but
definitely
if he's
the
not
father.
the father, you can bring back as many people as necessary to get DNA tested, and we actually find the father and place him on child support.
Well, I know who it is, so that's not necessary, but thank you.
Okay. Is there anything further?
Your Honor, can we get your assistance in having this thing compelled so that we can get this DNA testing done expeditiously?
Oh yeah, most definitely. And it will be done through the Attorney General's office.
Okay.
Because they are actually on site in the courtroom, and it will be in the courthouse rather. And it will be much easier and free to you all to go ahead and use their resource. Okay? If there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
Thank you.
Rocky,
You're welcome.
if I have obligations here, I'll stand behind them.
I appreciate that.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.